Hello, can you guys hear me? Yay, Daisy Joe, Donna, Paisley, Erica. Good to see all you guys. Oh no, I give it just a few more minutes and see if we can get a couple more people in here. Um, then we're going to talk about some Appalachian myths and wives' tales. Hey, Fluffy, I love you too. Hey, Renee. Hey, Mr. Troll. I'm going to try to share my screen so everybody can see um, the articles that I'm reading from. I don't know how that's going to work. If I can't get it to work, then I'll just read it and we'll discuss it. Hello, Mama Two. Good to see you here. Hey, Erica. Ooh, every time I take a drink of, I haven't been drinking pop, and I decided to grab me one here and get me some caffeine. And every time I take a drink, it makes me hiccup. Go lay down, buddy. Go lay down. Get up here and lay down. My dogs, of course, are all over me, just like a child when you get on the phone or start doing something important. They're all over you. Okay, I'm going to play with my buttons here. If I screw something up, I'll try to fix it as fast as I can. uh, okay, so I have a question for the other creators. If I share my screen and I'm reading from an article, am I going to be able to see the chat in StreamYard, or do I need to open it up on a different device? Does anybody know? I'm going to go ahead and just open it up on a different device. That way I can see for sure. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to. The first article that I found has a really long list. This may be the only one we even get to. So what I was planning on doing is just kind of what it is it's signs, superstitions, omens, and beliefs of the Appalachian people. And it's got them in list form. So what we'll do is I'll read what the superstition is or the belief is, and we'll kind of chit chat about it. If anybody's ever heard of it before, where you think it may have stemmed from, things like that. So I'm going to screen sharing. Okay. This is the one that I want. Sorry, I have to kind of talk myself through it. Okay. I've got it here. And I can see on my phone that it is popped up there for you guys to see as well. Hush. So the first one here says a chicken laying an uneven number of eggs is an omen of danger. Now, I have never heard that one. Have any of you all ever heard that one before? I can see chat on my phone, Nana Kim. I've got my phone in my lap, so I'm watching chat on my phone and doing the live from my laptop. Hey, Paisley. So again, a chicken laying an uneven number of eggs is an omen of danger. Like I said, I had never heard that one before. A rabbit crossing your path before sunrise will bring unhappiness. I'd never heard that one before either. Always go out the same door you came in. Now, when I was doing some research the other day, trying to find, some good lists and some good articles to go over when I did this live, it told a story about a girl that had went to her grandfather's house, and she had come in the back door and she started to run out the front door to go play, and he was like, no, 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 and stopped her, and she's like, why, what's wrong? And he said, you have to go back out the same door you came in. So in my personal life, I'd never heard it, but I did read a little story, a little short story about that one. Oh, you have heard that one, Mama of Two, about the doors? Well, that's cool. And the next one says, bad fortune is soon to follow when a broom falls for no reason. Now, I have heard some superstitions about brooms in general, but I don't think I've ever heard that one specifically. Oh, your mom says if a broom falls, don't walk over it? Okay. Of course, the next one, we've all heard of this one. A black cat crossing your path means bad luck. You need to stop and go another way. So that's a pretty popular one. I'm sure we've all heard that one before. And the next one says, carry a 4-leaf clover to ward off bad luck. I'm sure we've all heard that one before as well. And where do you guys think some of these stem from? Do you think somebody just happened to find a 4-leaf clover one day and then something really good happened to them on the same day and they kind of related them to one another? Or the opposite with the black cat crossing the path and then maybe something bad happened, they got in a car accident or something like that, and they connected the two as having something to do with each other. Do you think that's how these superstitions get started? Okay, the next one says a chin dimple is a sign of bad character. Dimples are made by the devil's shoe. I've never heard that one. I don't have a chin dimple, but I do have dimples in my cheeks. So the last part of this, I don't know if it's still referring to the chin dimple or if it's referring to all dimples, but I sure have dimples in my cheeks. So I've never heard of that one either, that dimples were a sign of bad character. Cows laying down means it's going to rain. And while I'm thinking about it, it may be in this list. I haven't read this list yet. I wanted to do it for the first time with you guys. But I told my mom this one, and she looked at me like I was crazy. When it's going to rain on certain types of trees, the leaves turn over. And the leaves are lighter on the bottom and darker on the top. So that's how you can tell that the leaves are turned over. And they turn over so they can soak up the rain. And I couldn't believe that my mom had never heard of that before. But you can see it. Pay attention next time it's getting ready to rain. Pay attention. I don't know what types of trees it is, but just look into the trees and you'll see that some of them will be lighter. And that's because the leaves physically turn over. Have anybody heard of that one before about the leaves turning over? Oh, you were told if you have dimples, that's where the angels kissed you when you were born. I like that explanation better. That's definitely a better explanation for me. So Renee and that girl, Daisy Joe, Donna, you all notice that about the trees. They do. Not all trees and not all leaves, but if you pay attention, you can tell because the leaves are a lighter color on the bottom, and you'll see where they've turned over, preparing for that rain so they can soak it up. Oh no, Night Stalker was sleeping in the watch party. It sounds like me. I always fall asleep in the watch party. Okay, where were we at here? Cows laying down means it's going to rain. I don't know a lot about cows. I was never raised on that type of farm or anything. Were any of you around cows a lot growing up or still? Deaths come in threes. Now, I have heard that bad things come in threes. I don't know if it was always specifically deaths, but I have always heard that bad things come in threes. Now, this one says, don't let anyone sweep under your feet. I can kind of add to that one. I was always told that a woman wouldn't get married if you sweep around her feet. Hush. If you sweep around her feet, she wouldn't get married or something like that. Hush, Lily. Sorry, guys. I've got the back door open, and every time something moves, they have to bark. Don't wash clothes on Sunday. Now, I have not heard that one. Of course, I've heard that Sunday is supposed to be a day of rest where you don't do any work on Sunday. But I've never specifically heard don't wash clothes on Sunday. Have any of you heard that before? If you hit someone's feet with a broom, you will go to jail. Oh no. Maybe we need to chase Ernie down. Chase him with a broom. Okay. Draw an X in the air 3 times to avoid the bad luck from a black cat crossing in front of you. Now, I have heard that one, and I have seen people in my family do that. If a black cat runs across the road while they're driving, they'll up in the air make the symbol of an X 3 times. I never took it that far and actually did it, but I have seen people actually do that before. Let's see. Dreaming of bees is a sign of good fortune. Never heard that, but I've never dreamed of bees either that I can recall. I don't really, I think it's because I don't sleep sound enough, but they say everybody dreams, but I never remember my dreams. Every so often I'll remember dreaming something, but very, very rarely. Hey, Danny Mitchell, good to see you. We're talking about Appalachian signs, superstitions, omens, and beliefs. Kind of discussing some of them and if we've ever heard of them before, and kind of wondering how they got started, things like that. Um, Dropping a knife means a man is coming to visit. That sounds kind of scary. It's like, get out your knife, the men are coming. I've never heard that before, ever. But it sounds kind of scary. Yeah, same here, Donna. I don't remember. I don't ever really remember dreaming for a long time. Let's see what else we've got here. Dropping your fork means a woman is coming to visit. So if it's a knife, it's a man coming, and if it's a fork, it's a woman coming. Seeing a white horse means good luck. Again, I wasn't raised around horses, so I've never heard that one. Erica, I know you've been raised around horses. Have you ever heard that one, that seeing a white horse means good luck? A foot itching is a sign that you are about to embark on a long journey. Now, I've never heard that one. I know an itchy foot is the most inconvenient thing that can ever happen, but I've never heard the part about the long journey. You have heard the one about the horses. I figured you might have. For good luck, eat black-eyed peas with greens and pork on New Year's Day. No, thank you. I can't do the green eyed peas. I can't do black eyed peas or greens. So I just have to take 1/3 of it and hope for the best. A gift of knives to newlyweds will cut their love with an exclamation point. So I don't know. I guess it means cut their ties, that they won't love each other anymore, I guess. I've never heard of that one. You've heard of sauerkraut and pork. I heard, what country is it? I think it's in France, when they're doing the countdown, the from 10 to 1, that they eat 10 grapes. It's really a choking hazard to try to get down 10 grapes in 10 seconds. But I think it's France that they do that. They eat 10 grapes while the countdown is happening. Your family cooked cabbage with a silver dollar in it? I never heard of that. Let's see what else we've got here. And if you guys have anything to add, feel free. You wear new socks on New Year's? Okay, that's neat. I never heard of that one. I usually get a pair of the comfy, fluffy socks for Christmas, so I may have to start saving them and wearing them on New Year's. Let's see what we've got here. A girl should hold their feet up when crossing a railroad track or they will lose their boyfriend. Never have I ever heard of that. I guess if you're riding in a car, you're supposed to hold your feet up when you go over a railroad track. Now, this next one, I have heard of this one. Hang a horseshoe upside down to keep the good luck from running out. So, when it's upside down, it's like a U shape, so it supposedly keeps the good luck in, keeps it from escaping. Hang a mirror by the door to protect against evil. Never heard of that one either. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, hit the like button. Any kind of help that I can get, I sure appreciate it. Interaction, any type of interaction helps get the videos out and helps other people be able to see them. A hard to light candle is a sign of coming rain. Never heard that before. Wow, hearing a screech owl at dusk means someone will die. Now, that's one thing I've noticed when I was doing my research for this. A lot of these are dark, so just trigger warning on that. A lot of these are about dying and dark things. Hold your breath passing a cemetery, or you could inhale a dead soul. Now that's dark. I've never heard that before, ever. That kind of creeps me out, just to be honest. Yeah, Nana Kim, that is spooky, isn't it? Let's just go past that one. If a man wipes his hands on a girl's apron, he will fall in love with her. You know what I think about that one? It's less about the wiping his hands on the apron, but what's a girl usually doing when she's wearing an apron? She's cooking or baking. So I think that's what he falls in love with, is the cooking, not necessarily the wiping of the hands. What do you guys think? Think it's more about the cooking? Let's see here. If a pregnant woman sees a dead person, her baby will have a birthmark. See, I don't know how they come up with these, how they tie them together, because lots of babies have birthmarks, whether they attended a funeral or saw a dead body while they were pregnant or not. Lots of babies have birthmarks. That's true, Erica. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So that's why I think the one about wiping his hands on the girl's apron. Why else would she be wearing an apron? Because she's probably either baking or cooking. So that's probably the correlation on that one. Let's see what we've got here. If dough cracks while being shaped, a funeral will follow. Okay, that's creepy. I've never heard that one before. Let's see what Nana Kim said here. I heard if you have a scare, your baby will have a birthmark. And then Renee, kind of the same thing. You've heard if you have a traumatic experience, the baby will be marked. Could be. If your nose is itching, company is coming. I've heard that one. I think that's probably one that a lot of us have heard of. Bad luck to walk under a ladder. Definitely heard that one before. As well as it being dangerous. 7 years of bad luck to close a knife you didn't open. Now, my dad is a stickler on this one. He always carries pocket knives. And if I open the pocket knife and then I hand it to him to use or whatever he's doing with it, he'll hand it back to me to close it, or vice versa. So he always makes sure that whoever opens the knife also closes it. Have you guys ever heard of that one? If your nose itches, you're going to kiss a fool. I've never heard that, Renee. Yeah, Donna, 7 years bad luck if you break a mirror. I've heard that one. I thought that's what it was going to say for a second there. Let's see. It's bad luck to step on a grave. I've definitely heard that one. It's so hard, though, as tight as they're making these graveyards and as close together as they are. It's so hard to walk through one and not step on a grave. But I've definitely heard that maybe not necessarily bad luck, but disrespectful, or basically not to do it, not to step on someone's grave. I've always heard that. If your ear's itching, somebody's talking about you. Definitely heard that one before. It's bad luck to spill salt unless you throw a pinch over your left shoulder. Definitely heard that one before. Like ones like that. Where do you think that? How did that originate? Like some of these are pretty easy to figure out, like a black cat running in front of your car and then you get in a car accident. Oh, it was bad luck from the black cat, something like that. But spilling salt and thinking to throw it over your left shoulder specifically so it doesn't give you bad luck, I just wonder, and maybe I'm just thinking too deep into it, but I just wonder where these originate from. Like, how did they get started? Let's see. Keep a lucky rabbit's foot in your pocket to ease aches and pains and for good luck. Now, I've definitely heard the good luck, but I've never heard of the easing aches and pains. You used to be able to go to little stores and buy the keychains, the rabbit foot keychains. You don't see them much anymore. I guess everybody thinks it's bad for the bunnies or whatever the case may be, but I'm sure they're not just going around and cutting feet off live rabbits. I'm sure they come off ones that are already deceased, but you sure don't see them in the stores and stuff like you used to. But I never heard that it would ease aches and pains. Have any of you ever heard the aches and pains part of it? Keep a penny in your washer. Well, I wish I would have known that, because just about every time I do laundry, I find a penny in my washer. Next time, I'm just going to leave it in there. But it doesn't say why. It doesn't say why you should keep that penny in your washer. Knock on wood for good fortune. I'm sure we've all heard that one. That's a popular one. Let's see. Leave one apple on the tree to keep the devil away. Never heard of that one. But again, I was never really raised on a farm where we had fruit trees or anything like that. Have any of you ever heard that when you harvest apples, you should leave one on the tree? Never heard it. No, me either. Let's see. Leaving a rocking chair rocking invites spirits. I saw that in several of these articles and lists that you're not supposed to rock an empty rocking chair. Seems like when I was little, maybe I heard something about maybe my grandparents telling me not to do that or something. You know, when you're a kid and you walk past the rocking chair, you just hit it with your hand or whatever just to make it rock. Oh, excuse me. Seems like I remember them telling me not to do that, but I don't know about the spirits part. Let's see. Leaving diapers on the clothesline during a full moon will attract evil forces. Man, you can tell that one's old because that's the cloth diapers. I've definitely not heard that one. Hey, Pandagram. It's okay if you're late. We're just going through a list of Appalachian superstitions here and kind of chit-chatting about if we've heard of it before or where we think how it started and things like that. Yeah, Night Soccer, I do. I wonder where this stuff comes from too. It's like I said, some of them it's you can kind of visualize it. Like I know I keep using the black cat for an example, or walking under a ladder and maybe then you tripped and fall or something, you know, and you connect the two together as having something to do with each other. But some of these, it's like, where did they even come up with this? The next one says, never cut your baby's hair before their first birthday. Now, it doesn't say why, but I think most people usually wait at least till their first birthday anyway. Never give knives as a gift. Again, doesn't say why. Now, the one earlier did say if you gave it as a wedding gift, it would cut their love. But this one just says as a gift in general. So I don't know why that would be. Never repay salt that you have borrowed. Now, that's interesting because back in the day, like the Appalachian Trail and things like that, everybody needed every crumb of everything they ever had. So I would have thought that it would have been highly disrespectful to borrow anything and not pay it back in those days. So I'm not sure what that one's about either. Let's see here. Open the window when someone dies and cover the mirrors so their soul can leave. Now, that's another one that I saw on a lot of these articles and lists, but I don't think I've ever heard it in my actual life, real life. Plant your crops under the full moon. Again, I wasn't really raised around a farm or anything like that, so I've never heard of that one. Let's see here. Pour a drop of strong drink on the ground for spirits or ghosts that have passed. And we see that like in rap videos and stuff. They'll pour one out, pour a little bit on the ground before they drink for their buddies that have passed away. So that's what that's referring to. So that's been around for a long time, I guess. Yeah, pour one out for my homie. Absolutely. Let's see. Put a two-edged axe in a stump facing a storm to have it go around you. Put a two-edged axe in a stump facing a storm. Oh, to have the storm go around you so the storm will miss you. Okay. See, that one could have completely been a coincidence. They're out there chopping wood. They look up in the sky. Storms come. Looks like a storm's coming. They leave the axe in the stump, go in the house, and the storm ends up passing by. And they're like, wow, that happened because of the way I left my axe in the stump. So some of them I can kind of see maybe where they originated or how they came to be, but some of them I just can't. Like the throwing the salt over your left shoulder specifically and things like that. I just can't think of a situation where that would have originated from. Rub a chicken over your baby to keep it from getting chicken pox. Uh, I have never heard that ever. It doesn't seem too sanitary with salmonella and things like that. Have any of you heard of rubbing a chicken? It doesn't say whether it should be cooked or raw. It doesn't really say. It just says rub a chicken over your baby to keep it from getting chicken pox. That's hilarious. I don't think I would be doing that. Sleeping on New Year's Day will lead to an unhappy year. So I guess you're supposed to stay up for that full 24 hours? I don't know about that one either. And like that one, everybody sleeps every day. So how would they come up with that oh my goodness, I slept on this day, so my whole year is going to be crappy. Some of them I have no idea how they would have originated. Oh, you were thinking of a live chicken? Maybe. I was thinking of like a boneless chicken breast from Kroger. It could mean a live chicken. I don't know. Oh, you thought the live chicken too, Erica? Okay. Maybe I was the one that was kind of off on that one. I was just thinking of like rubbing it over the baby before you throw it in the skillet. I'm not necessarily a city girl. I just didn't grow up on a farm, like with crops and um, cows and horses and things like that. Let's see what we've got here. Speaking a dead person's name in your dream is an omen of a death. So if you have a dream and you speak the name of someone that's already passed, that means somebody else is going to pass? Is that what that's saying? Is that what you guys got from that? Hey, Alabama girl. Good to see you. We're going over some Appalachian superstitions and myths and beliefs. Let's see. Oh, get this one, guys. Spit on a new baby to bring it good luck. Ain't nobody spitting on my baby. Spit. That's worse than the chicken. Spit on a new baby to bring it good luck. Could you imagine just having a line of people? You just get home from the hospital and you got your little cute little baby in your arms, and there's a line of people that want to see it, and they just walk by and spit on it. No, thank you. Live and live and make a wish. Okay, Donna, that's fine. I appreciate you being here. What do you guys think about spitting on babies? I don't care how much good luck it's going to bring me. Ain't nobody spitting on my baby. Stepping on an ant's nest will cause rain that day. Never heard that one either. Stopped the clocks when there's a death to prevent another one. That's another one that I saw on a lot of these lists. Sometimes it's worded different. They'll say, to stop all the clocks in the house when somebody passes. I guess for that 24-hour period until it is that time again. A lot of these are dark. They have to do with death and spirits and bad spirits and things like that. See, here's another one. Washing clothes on New Year's Day will cause a death in the family. So if you party too hard on New Year's Eve and you don't want to get up and do anything, just tell them, I can't wash clothes today because somebody will die. Wear a buckeye in your bra to ward off rheumatism. Never heard of that one. Now, I have seen people carry a buckeye in their pocket before. I never did ask why they did that, but when walking together, both must walk on the same side of a post or it will break your friendship. I think I've heard that. Like especially if you're, it's a relationship and you're holding hands and you get to like a light post or a telephone pole or something like that. If you let go of hands and then connect on the other side, that it's supposed to be bad luck or bad for your relationship. I think I have heard that one before. Yeah, I was born and raised in Ohio until 6th grade. I just moved to Kentucky when I was in 6th grade. I was born in Cincinnati. Women should not do any canning or gardening during her period. Okay. I don't want to go too far into that one, but I've never heard of that one. And your baby has to fall off the bed before their first birthday. Or what? Some of them just kind of leave you hanging. It's like, what happens if they don't? My niece did. My sister left her in the middle of a queen bed with pillows all around her. And that child was a baby, ended up falling off the bed and breaking her arm. So that's all of them on this list. You guys Does somebody want to come up? Do you guys just want to chit chat? Do you want to? I've got a couple more articles that we can take a look at to see if maybe there's something different. These, I think, came from Asheville, probably Asheville, North Carolina, South Carolina. I can't really remember where Asheville is. Right, and I don't believe in a lot of these superstitions and omens, but they're just interesting to me. More than anything, trying to figure out where they came from. Like how they even came to be. Um, some of them are just plain odd. Old old home remedies. You want Appalachian home remedies? Okay, let's take a look here. Medicinal remedies from Appalachia. Let's see what this one says. For chest congestion, place rock candy and a little whiskey to make a thick syrup drink, a few spoonfuls several times a day. Or we can make an onion poultice by roasting an onion, wrap it in a cloth, beat it until the juice soaks the cloth, and then apply the cloth to the chest. So that's kind of like putting the menthol stuff on your chest, like the Vicks Vapor Rub and things like that. I guess the onions make you cry, they make your nose run, so it would make sense that they would clear up congestion as well, but I don't know that I would want to do that. Render the fat from a polecat, eat 2 or 3 spoonfuls to bring up the phlegm. And then it says in parentheses, I'm afraid that it would bring up more than phlegm. Yes, definitely. And to my recollection, a polecat is a skunk. I'm pretty sure a polecat is a skunk. Yeah, Nana Kim said the same thing. Polecat, question mark, skunk. Yep, that's what I've always heard. One more for chest congestion. Take a flannel shirt and soak it with turpentine and lard, then wear it all winter. Your family might make you live in the barn. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine wearing one shirt all winter, just the shirt, but having it soaked with turpentine and lard and then wear it all winter just for chest congestion. If your chest is congested for that long, then you've got more going on. For colds, boil pine needles to make a strong tea. Eat a mixture of honey and vinegar. Eat onions roasted in ashes. Again, onions because they open up your sinuses. Suck salty water up your nose. I've heard of that one. That's like the saline things that they do. Hush. For coughs, Mix 1 teaspoon of white whiskey with a pinch of sugar. Heat over a fire and drink. Maybe a form of a hot toddy, I guess. Mix ground ginger with sugar. Put on your tongue just before bedtime to stop your cough. Mix honey and hot tea and drink it. My mom still does that to this day, and she makes my kids do it. Dissolve 4 sticks of horehound candy in a pint of liquor and take a couple spoonfuls. For sore throats, again with the onions, bake onions in fireplace and tie around your throat. Okay. Gargle with honey and vinegar. Gargle with warm salt water. My mom still does that to this day. Take a sock a man has worn for a week of working and tie it around your neck. No, thank you. What do you guys think about that one? Taking a sock that a man has worn for a whole week of working and tie it around your neck. Yeah, definitely gross. Definitely gross. Okay, Alabama girl, you're good. To burn tonsils out, paint them several times a day with iodine and turpentine. Folks thought if you didn't have tonsils, it would cut down on illnesses, kind of like having your tonsils removed today does. I've had some older folks tell me they don't have any tonsils because they wasted away from being sick as a child. Oh, could you imagine burning your own tonsils out? With turpentine? Isn't turpentine like paint stripper or paint thinner or something? No, thank you. For the flu, boil 2 roots of wild ginger in a cup of water, strain it, and drink it. Drink some of the brine from kraut. It makes you thirsty, and you drink lots of water, washing the sickness away. Some of them made a lot of sense and are still used today, like the honey and tea with honey and gargling with salt water. But I'm not going to put no sock around my neck that a man has worn for a week of working. No, thank you. And I'm not going to burn my own tonsils out. No, thank you. Yeah, what do you think about that, Erica? Taking your hard-working man that's been working all week and tying his sock around your neck. I'd rather be sick. Let's see. Anything else you guys can think of that you want to look into? Let's see. Appalachian healing traditions. That one's not in list form. See, when I look up wives' tales, it brings up like the myths and the superstitions. So Here's another one that I had pulled up here. Think. Yeah. If you take a shower on the first few days of menstruation, you'll cramp to death. I don't know about that one. And again, with the empty rocking chair, I told you I saw that one in a lot of these lists. Don't rock an empty rocking chair, it's a harbinger of death. A bird that flies in the house is an omen of death. I have heard that one, at least that it's bad luck. I don't know specifically if I heard it would cause death, but I have heard if a bird flies in the house, it's bad luck. If a rooster crows at a burial, the one who's buried is a sinner. Never heard of that one. Now, this one's kind of like the black cat, but it's a dog, and I've never heard this. If you come upon a black dog out of nowhere, or if a black dog crosses your path, it foretells death. Never heard that with a dog before. Yeah, I think fermented stuff is like a probiotic. What's that stuff that people that got real popular that people were drinking? I can't remember what it's called. I mean, they still sell it in the grocery stores and stuff. Like, I can't remember what it's called, but no, it's not apple cider vinegar. It's like got a slimy thing, like they call it the mother or something, and you can take that mother and make other batches off of it. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Birds singing at night portends death. If you put shoes on the bed, it heralds death for someone close to you. Now, that one, I can see a parent, they just got the room clean, just got the bed clean, clean blankets, clean sheets, and the kid runs in and jumps up on the bed with their shoes on, and they're like, don't put your shoes on the bed, somebody will die, things like that. You can kind of imagine where some of these stories come from, which that's kind of grim to tell a child, but look at some of the old fairy tales from back in the day. They were pretty bleak too. So it wouldn't surprise me if a parent back in the day would have told a kid that just so they didn't get on the bed with their shoes on. If you change an animal's name, it will die. I've never heard of that ever before either. Wow, really, Daisy Joe? The night your dad died, birds sung all night. It was eerie. Yeah, that is eerie. Never heard that. If you shudder for no reason, someone's walking on your grave. I've heard that before. I don't really know how that works out. I don't have a burial plot picked out yet, so I don't know how my body would know it was my grave. But maybe back in the day where all the families had certain plots and certain places, that would have made more sense. Here's another one, like we read in that other list. When a person dies in a home, open a door for his or her spirit to pass, which I think the last one said a window, but this one says a door. If you touch a dead person, you will not dream of him or her. And that's weird. And I feel bad even saying it, but my husband that passed away, he died here at home, and I touched him to feel for a pulse. And I've never dreamt of him, which, like I said earlier, I don't really remember my dreams anyway. I don't think I sleep deep enough to dream, but I've not seen him in my dreams at all. So that's odd that it kind of fits in with that one. If you don't look upon a dead family member or another person who's close to you, you won't believe the person died and you'll go insane. Okay, that went a little far. I can see kind of being in denial if you don't visualize it. But the going insane part, I don't know about that. Here's another one, like was in the other list. Stop a clock in a room when a person dies, otherwise you'll have bad luck. Avoid walking on top of graves as a sign of respect. Otherwise, spirits might get angry and you'll have bad luck. See, that's what I was saying on the other one. I was always taught that it was a sign of respect. It was the reason that you didn't walk on graves. It's bad luck to put a hat on the bed. Death will come soon. Now, I don't know why that one would, the shoes on the bed kind of made sense to me because, dirty kids with dirty shoes, but I don't know about the hat one. I can't think of a scenario for the hat one. If a picture falls off the wall for no reason, someone will die or the house is haunted. Now that would be creepy. Never name your dog Lucky, Nana Kim. I knew a guy that had a 3-legged dog named Lucky. No, I don't think it was a coincidence either, Erica or Daisy Joe, especially with them singing so loud that you could hear them inside. That's not a coincidence. Oh, you do dream of your daddy and you touched him. Well, see, like I said, who knows where these scenarios came from. If you plant a coniferous tree, pine, cedar, etc., you'll die once it reaches your height. No, I don't know about that. That would be a lot of people dying, I would think. The redbud tree is the tree from which Judas hanged himself, so it's called the Judas tree. Never heard of that. It's thought that Jesus, I have heard this one. It's thought that Jesus was crucified on dogwood, which was at one time a large tree. Its blooms are symbolic, representing the cross, thorns, and nails. I used to rent a place that had 2 dogwood trees, one on each side of the porch, and they were so beautiful. But you definitely they definitely wouldn't have withheld the weight of a grown man's body, but they say that they used to be large, sturdy trees until the crucifixion. Coal miners, we might need to tell Ernie about this one. Coal miners are doomed if a woman works in or steps into a coal mine. Expect catastrophe. I don't know. I think that one was written before equal rights. Hey, Luna. Glad you made it. Death comes in threes. We saw that one on the last list. Animals can see ghosts. Now, I have heard this, and I've watched YouTube videos where there'll be a cat or a dog that's just like staring in a certain spot, and following something with its eyes or growling a little low growl, and it seems like it's seeing something that we can't see. So, who knows? Maybe animals can see spirits. I'm not going to call them ghosts, but maybe they can see spirits. An owl's hoot signifies death. Now, the other list specified at dawn or at dusk. This one just says in general. And again, it looks like that would be an awful lot of deaths. So I just can't see that one being any bit real. The blood from a murder or suicide in a home will not wash away, and you can't paint over it. I don't know about that one either. Coins on a veteran's headstone. Not so much a superstition, but a message of respect. If you see a penny on a veteran's headstone, that means someone visited the grave. If you see a nickel on a veteran's headstone, the visitor was in boot camp with that veteran. If you see a dime, the visitor served alongside the veteran. And if it's a quarter, the visitor was there when the veteran passed away. That was interesting to me. I've never heard that. Now, I have seen pictures where there are coins on top of the headstone, but I never knew why or what it signified. So that was very interesting to me when I looked over this the first time. So that's the list. That's all the list that I had saved. It didn't say anything about the pig on the boat, did it? It does here at the beginning. Let's see what it says here. I don't know. It doesn't really say anything about the saying pig on the boat. I don't know. Which one do you guys believe? Oh, you've seen coins on your dad's headstone, Luna? Hey, Beth. Yeah, we're going over stuff from Appalachian myths and superstitions, and we looked at some home remedies. Is there anything else you guys can think of, or anybody that wants to come up and chit chat about the lists? Let's see. Oh, this one has monsters. Let's see what this one. The Bell Witch. Have you all heard about the Bell Witch? I know everybody's heard of Bigfoot. The only one that I haven't heard of, I think, in this list is the Moon-Eyed People and maybe the Flatwoods Monster. I've heard of the Brown Mountain Lights. I've heard of the Bell Witch, Mothman, maybe the Wampus Cat. I'm not sure. You've heard of the Mothman? Yeah. Several people reported seeing that. Now, the Bell Witch, As far as I can recall, she was found in a hollowed out tree. Let's see. The story of the Bell Witch is one of the most popular examples of Appalachian mountain folklore, and it began in Robertson County, Tennessee. It centers around the Bell family. The Bell Witch, who is thought to be a woman named Kate Batts, supposedly cheated in a land purchased by John Bell, the patriarch of the Bell family. The hauntings began sometime between 1817 and 1821, when the Bell Witch would show up disguised as an animal, such as a dog or a bird. She would often focus on John's daughter, Betsy Bell, pulling the sheets off her bed or even physically harming her with kicks, punches, and scratches. John Bell grew so concerned by these violent escalations that he shared his story with a family friend, James Johnston. After Johnston experienced the spirit firsthand, word quickly began to spread. The Appalachian ghost story eventually became famous enough to reach General Andrew Jackson. According to legend, Jackson and his party set up their tents outside of the Bell home. One man, claiming he had knowledge of how to deal with witches, boasted that his silver bullets would keep the witch at bay. To punish him, the witch set her sights on the man, giving him a beating that had Jackson's men begging to leave. After John Bell's mysterious death in 1820, the Bell Witch continued to haunt his family, even forced Betsy to break off her engagement with Joshua Gardner before eventually disappearing for good. Some stories claim that she promised to return to haunt John Bell's direct descendants in 1935, but there are no reports by Nashville physician Dr. Charles Bailey Bell. Okay, so that's not the one that I was thinking of. To experience these Appalachian legends for yourself, visit the historic Bell Witch Cave, which is located in Adams, Tennessee. See, and that's one thing you gotta kind of keep in mind is back in like the Depression era and things like that, did these small little towns come up with these stories just to get people to come into their town and generate revenue and money coming in that wasn't coming in before? You know, it just kind of makes you wonder. Right, tourist traps. It really makes you wonder if that's how a lot of these got started. Now, Bigfoot is interesting to me because there seems to be some form of Bigfoot in every continent, you know. And back then, even now, communication from one continent to another is not easy. I mean, it's a lot easier now that we have the internet, but you know, you have all types of different forms of Bigfoot on every continent. So it makes you wonder: were they carrying the stories by boat? You know, were they really seeing something in every location that were similar to one another? That's kind of what intrigues me about Bigfoot, is that there were so many different forms. We've got about 20 minutes to kill here. Like, we have Bigfoot, we have Sasquatch, and then you have the white one that in the snowy areas. And again, you can celebrate this monster at the Bigfoot Festival in Marion, North Carolina. So, you know, there's always something. Now, the Brown Mountain Lights are interesting to me because you can sit in a certain area and look over the mountaintops, and there's like orbs, and they glow like blue, white, orange, red. It says they hover approximately 15 feet off the ground. Um, It's close to an area where there was a brutal battle between the Cherokee and Catawba warriors on Brown Mountain, which left many dead on the battlefield. And people have tried to get closer to the lights, and it's like you can't. They're only 15 feet off the ground. That's not very high off the ground. So you would think if you hiked to where you think they're originating from, you would eventually find them, but nobody's ever been able to. So those are those are the ones that are intriguing to me. The first sighting of the lights was in 1771, and people still to this day, as far as I know, say that they see them. Let's see, it says, see, they blamed it on electricity, but it's dated back to the 1700s. There was no electricity back then. And then it says they're known for their inconsistency. They're typically seen at night, especially after a rainfall. So, like, that makes me wonder here in Corbin, and maybe in Williamsburg, it's called Cumberland Falls. It's a waterfall, and every now and then it'll have what they call a moonbow. And as far as I know, it's the only moonbow. I don't know if it's in the world or in North America or whatever the case is. It's very rare to have a moonbow. And I think those happen mostly after a rainfall. So it kind of makes you wonder if it's something like that happening. Um, could be, especially if it's normally after a rainfall. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. Yeah, there's a lot of Native American legends about Bigfoot. And like I was saying, Luna, there is some form of what we would consider Bigfoot on every continent as far as I know. So, if it is something that's just made up, how would these stories have gotten started so long ago when people didn't have means of communication like that? I mean, they had boats, and they did go to different areas, um, but there are tribes that didn't communicate with people from the outside, and they would even tell stories about Bigfoot and things like that. So, it's not like they were just sitting around the campfire making up these stories with these people from a different continent. You know, they didn't even speak each other's languages most of the time. So it makes you wonder. Oh, you were terrified of Bigfoot growing up, Fluffy? Let's see. The Flatwoods Monster originated in Braxton County, West Virginia. On September 12, 1952, Edward May, Freddie May, Neil Nunley, and Tommy Heyer were playing at Flatwoods Elementary when they spotted a light shooting across the sky. On their way to see the light, the boys stopped to tell their mother, who asked National Guardsmen to join them. When they arrived at the site of the light's crash, they saw a pulsing red light and a 10-foot tall creature with twisted hands and a glowing green face that seemed to levitate off of the ground. When the creature hissed at them, they fled. The event made local and national news and even prompted an official U.S. Air Force inquiry. Today, tourists come from all over the country to visit the home of the Flatwoods Monster. Oh, that's creepy. This is the one I wanted to look into, the Moon-Eyed People. According to both Appalachian folktales and Cherokee legend, a group of pale-skinned humanoids called the Moon-Eyed People might be hiding somewhere in the Appalachian Range. Typically associated with the small town of Murphy, North Carolina, the Moon-Eyed People are short, stout, and white-skinned with bearded faces and large blue eyes. Their eyes were supposedly so sensitive to the sun that they remained nocturnal, which is why they're called moon-eyed. Legend says that local Native American tribes waited for the full moon to drive the Moon-Eyed People from their underground caves. The bright light made them weak, forcing them to flee into other parts of Appalachia for good. Have you ever heard of these Moon-Eyed People, Luna? Unlike other Appalachian monsters, the Moon-Eyed People were considered to be a distinctly separate race of people rather than supernatural beings. It might seem obvious to readers, but the Moon-Eyed People were most likely just European settlers. But what makes the legend so shocking is that it dates back hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus discovered America. So are the Moon-Eyed People another Appalachian mountain scary story, or just early European settlers who never received their due credit? Wow. There's a museum where there's a 3-foot tall sculpture of two conjoined figures thought to represent Moon-Eyed People, which was found in the early 1840s. Fort Mountain, a Georgia state park near Ellijay, Georgia. My aunt lives in Ellijay, Georgia. Contains the ruins of an 850-foot long stone wall that is said to have been constructed by the mysterious tribe. Yeah, I have an aunt that lives in Ellijay. And then we got the Mothman. Most of us probably know about the Mothman. It flew after the car and chased him down. Wampus cats. Also known as Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. Yeah, but weren't the Nephilim, weren't they really super tall, like giants? The Wampus cat, also known as Cherokee death cat, is a large cat similar to a mountain lion or cougar with tan yellow fur, 6 legs, and large yellow eyes. Oh, it does have 6 legs. I'm looking at the picture of it here. I didn't notice it when I first scrolled through it. You see the, see if you see my, you can't see my pointer. Some people you can see their pointer, but it's got 2 in the front and then 4 normal, what we would consider normal cat legs. That's weird. Large yellow eyes. The legend holds that a Cherokee female was cursed by tribal elders for witnessing a sacred pre-hunt ceremony. She hid under the pelt of a large cat and got turned into the half-woman, half-beast we hear about in this famous Appalachian myth. Forever left to wander alone through the mountains, the Wampus cat acts out in anger at being cut off from her former life. She's known for standing on her hind legs, using her supernatural powers to drive her victims to insanity. Despite being a story about Cherokee people, the Wampus Cat folktale did not originate with the Cherokee people. Instead, the name came from the Goldsboro News Argus newspaper in North Carolina. In 1964, a hairy ape man who sounds suspiciously like Bigfoot was reported to be roaming around US 70. The newspaper named the mysterious creature the Wampus Cat, and the name stuck. The name likely derives from the word catawampus, a mountain folklore saying that describes a boogeyman or something that has gone badly. Let's see if there's anything in this list that we didn't see. There's the one about the penny washer again. I wonder about that one. It doesn't say why. This one also says never repay salt that you have borrowed. I don't know why that would be. And this one says run a chicken over your baby to keep it from getting chicken pox. See, this one says leaves are upside down. I knew I wasn't crazy. If cows are laying down or the leaves are upside down, it's going to rain. Luna wasn't in here when we were talking about that. Have you ever heard of that, Luna, that before it rains, the leaves turn upside down so they can soak up the water? And you can tell because the bottom of the leaves are a lighter color than the top. So when you see that, you know it's going to rain. Now, this one says if you don't hold your breath when you pass the cemetery, you'll be the next to die. I believe the last list just said someone would die. But this one says you'll be the next to die. This stuff is very interesting to me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Have you guys enjoyed this? And you can be honest with me. If it was boring as crazy, you can tell me. Or if you can think of a better format that I can use instead of just sitting here reading it to you. I'm open for all suggestions. I'm brand new to this. And if there's a better way that I can be doing it, trust me, I want to be doing it the better way. You've never heard of the leaves turning over, Luna? Well, pay attention next time. Next time you can tell that it's getting ready to rain. Look, and I don't know what kind of trees it is, but it's the kind of trees that have the leaves that are darker on top and lighter on the bottom, and that's how you can see them. Even if they're real far away, you can tell because the leaves will look really light green because they're turned over waiting on that water. Yeah, maple. Okay, it's 12:01. We better get off of here so we can watch the stand. I'd hate for Jimbo to cut me off here. So we'll think of another topic for next time. I hate to do this, but everybody does. My Cash App, my PayPal, everything's at the top. If you enjoyed the show and you want to leave me a tip, it's greatly appreciated. Never expected, never required. But if you want to do it, the information's up there on top. But I love you guys. I really appreciate you sticking in here with me and talking back and forth, and joining in the conversation, so I don't feel like I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Um, but we'll go ahead and get off here and get ready to watch the stand. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, you pushed yours back to 12:15. That's all right. We'll go get us a drink, use the potty, then we'll be ready to go. I'll see you all next time. Love you guys. And at least push the like button on the way out if you haven't done it already. Please. Let's see if I can figure out how to get out of here.